Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Rosy Annisa. I'm English Education student 2016 in English Department, Faculty of Languages and Art, Universitas Negeri, Semarang. This video is made for the requirements of my final projects for my Sarjana Pendidikan degree in English. So, my final project is under the title Interpersonal Meaning in Thanos Utterances as the villain in Avengers Endgame movie. My final projects consist of 5 chapters. The first one is Introductions, which consists of background of the studies, reasons for choosing the topic, research question. And the second one is Literature Review, which consists of previous studies, theoretical framework. And the third one is research methodology, which consists of research design, the technique for collecting the data, and procedures for analyzing the data. And the fourth is the main of my final project, which is about the finding and discussions. And the last one is the conclusions and suggestions. Alright, now we move to chapter 1. Here we have background of the study. So, communications is the process of exchanging message or meaning which use language as a tool. And the message itself can be realized directly or indirectly in communications. In direct communications, people will communicate directly, while in indirect communications, people will need media such as movie. In movie, there are characters that appear to build the story through the conversations they made. So, the meaning or message can be transferred to the viewers. Besides that, the choice of words or the choice of language in producing the conversations also can be used to describe the characteristic of characters in movie by conducting interpersonal meaning analysis. And then the reason why I choose movie for this study is because movie is rarely used in the analysis of interpersonal meaning. And then the movie chosen is Avengers Endgame movie because this movie is worldwide phenomenal and it becomes the most watched movie, and also it gained a lot of awards including best villain. So it means the best villain award goes to Thanos. And then the problem of this study were formulated into 2 questions. The first one is, what are the mood types realized in Thanos' utterances as the villain in Avengers Endgame movie? And the second one, how do the mood types describe Thanos' characteristic as the villain in Avengers Endgame movie? And now we move to chapter 2, which is about the literature review. So, from those 11 previous studies, most of them analyzing interpersonal meaning in speeches, and only the last 2 of them which analyzing interpersonal meaning in movie. Those are the studies conducted by Permatasari 2019, who analyzed mood and modality in the series of Chronicles of Narnia. In her study, she explained how Peter, as the oldest brother, used different mood and modality when he talked to his siblings. And the second one is the study conducted by Kusnadi 2018, who analyzed mood system in the utterances of Poppy and Branch in Trolls movie. In her study, she explained how Poppy and Branch, who were friends, use different mood when in their conversations, and how the mood describe their characteristic. And for the theoretical framework, as the objectives of this study are to find out the mood in Thanos' utterances and how the mood help to characterize Thanos. So these objectives were based on Halliday's Systemic Functional Grammar 1994, which views language as a research for making meaning and highlights the interrelations between language, text, and context. This study focused on the context of situations and language at the lexicogrammatical level, and specifically, this study put emphasis on one of the contexts of situations called tenor. Tenor is the realizations of interpersonal meaning, and it is realized in the wording called mood, while mood is realized by the order of subject and finite. And the order of subject and finite also indicates the type of mood, which in turn specify the speech functions conveyed in the clause. And systemic functional grammar advises that the context and language relationships can be traced in spoken or written text. So in this study, the texts analyzed were in the form of a movie entitled Avengers Endgame movie. So this study analyzed Thanos utterances from that movie. And it analyzed through the mood system framework provided by Halliday's Systemic Functional Grammar, 1994. And now we move to the chapter 3. It is about the research methodology, and there we have research design, the technique for collecting the data, and then the procedures for analyzing the data. This study is a discourse analysis within qualitative approach, since it concerned with the relationship between text and context. And meanwhile, qualitative approach is also applied because the data of this study were in the form of words which were interpreted to find the larger meaning. And then in collecting the data, documentation method was applied because it enables the researchers to find the deeper informations within written evidence for further explanations. And then for analyzing the data, the researchers took several steps, which firstly by collecting the data in the form of Thanos utterances. The second is segmenting the utterances into clauses, and then identifying the mood of each clauses, and then classifying the mood types of each clauses, and after that describing Thanos characteristic based on the mood types analysis. And then the last is drawing conclusions. And now we are in the main point of my final projects, which is about the finding and discussions. And the finding shows that there are totally 86 clauses found in Thanos utterances, and from that total number of clauses were divided into major clauses, which are 75 clauses, and minor clauses, which are 11 clauses. And then from the total number of major clauses were classified into mood types called declarative, which are totally 56 clauses, interrogative mood, which are totally 5 clauses, and then imperative mood, which are totally 14 clauses. So based on the result, Thanos most likely to produce statement which is totally 56 clauses, and then command, which are totally 14 clauses. Thanos is a giant purple from Titan. When Titan experience destructions and distinctions because of overpopulations, and he is the remaining left, he realized that overpopulations can cause damage, which leads to destructions and distinctions. So he came with his own idea. It is wiping away half of the universe. And so it can be said that Thanos is idealist persons. Idealist persons believe in something that is considered true, which comes from experience, educations, or even habits of each individual. And his idealistic come from his experience that he was a warlord, so he faced so many slaughters and violence. And his idealistic also can be seen through the way he speaks. By producing statement frequently, it means Thanos is someone who tends to declare his idea which focus on saving the universe from destructions. As in Tatum 1, he said the universe required corrections, and in Tatum 57, he said, I thought by eliminating half of life, the other half would thrive. In this clause, he tried to convince the Avengers that the idea of correcting the universe is right, even though he has to wipe away half of the universe. And then, by producing comment quite often, emphasize that he, as a leader, can control everything, and he wants everyone obey him. As in Datum 84, he said, rain fire, and in Datum 85, he said, just do it. He by first commanded his army to rain fire, even though it would put his army, even himself, in danger. And now we are in the last chapters of my final project. It is the conclusions and suggestions. So I can conclude that there are 86 clauses of Thanos Utterances in Avengers Endgame movie, which can be classified into major clauses, which are totally 75 clauses, and minor clauses, which are totally 11 clauses. The major clauses are divided into 3 types of mood. They are declarative mood, which are 56 clauses, interrogative mood, which are 5 clauses, and imperative mood, which are 14 clauses. So, through analyzing the mood types, it can be identified that the characteristic of Thanos is idealist person. It can be seen that he tends to produce statement, which means he is more likely to give information about his intentions to the universe. And then this characteristic also supported by the use of command. It implies that he wants to control everything and wants everyone should obey him. And then here are some suggestions for the students who are learning systemic functional grammar. Hopefully the study can be beneficial for them to improve their literary skill. And then for the researchers who are interested to conduct such study, hopefully this study can be used as the reference to enrich their research. And then for the readers, hopefully this research may help them to understand interpersonal meaning and how to communicate with each other properly. So that's all about my presentations. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.